Okay, board members, we're going to begin. If I can get you to take your seats. We have a couple more are finding their seats, and then we'll get going.
They love Jimmy.
We're getting closer. Okay. All right. Thank you, board members. That was a little longer break than we anticipated, but probably well-deserved. I want to bring your attention to our agenda item number 9, which is our strategic plan updates. This could be an action item. We had discussions yesterday in our work session. I've asked Superintendent Dixon to bring it up on the screen. We also have it in our board docs. The time is yours to talk about any strategic plan or proposed changes to our strategic plan or any additions to this matrix. Board member or Vice Chair Brittany Cummins.
I move that we adopt the changes that are highlighted in blue on the document that is before us. Oh.
Yes, it's the latter.
Okay, we have a motion to add. Is that what you said? The items that are shaded in blue or shaded.
Yeah. So. Okay. So the things that she just highlighted, 1 through 6 or 8 were already adopted as part of the strategic plan, but there was some language change, such as adding educator retention and recruitment instead of teacher retention and recruitment. So these same strategies would apply not only for teachers, but school administrators, et cetera. And for teachers and school leaders. As well as, sorry.
Oh, you're going to speak to the motion, or are you just explaining the motion?
I can wait, sorry.
Okay, so the motion is to add the items in blue to our strategic plan. Do we have a second, and then we'll go to discussion? They're cleaning up a typo. We have a second from Board Member Cannon. Okay, Superintendent Dixon.
I just want to clarify that the pieces in the teacher retention 1 through 8 are not new as of today. Those were actually adopted by you in June, on June 3rd. So I had them highlighted in blue, but I just changed it to black again so that wasn't confusing. Those were already adopted in June. So the current motion is what you see in blue in regards to changing teachers to educators and school leaders.
Okay, Board Member Hanson, did you have a comment?
I was just asking, so under leadership development, there's licensure. Is that also one of the changes too?
There's an additional number 4 added to, yep, it's improve in professional learning for school leaders through evidence-based practices. And then down in accountability, it's use multiple data points to inform instruction.
We have a motion, and we have a second. We're in discussion. I'm just putting a little pause because I know a lot of people are still reading on it. And again, our process is we work in our work session a little bit. Things come out of our work session. We move it forward, the outcomes of that a little bit. And we take action on it the following day, and that's where we're at today. Vice Chair Elisa.
Can we talk a little bit more about the multiple data points to inform instruction? I'm just wondering if we have those outlined somewhere.
We do not. I was just asked to add.
Okay. I'm wondering if we can somehow, like what data points where did you have in mind?
Or what would be in support? I mean, okay, we have an answer for you, Superintendent Dixon.
As we come back to you and discuss this, it's this kind of a standing agenda item. It gives you time that we can work together to determine what those might be. We're trying to keep this pretty fluid, so we're not necessarily coming with any mind. It was just a placeholder yesterday to make sure that we're not just focused on one data point in accountability. So to be determined. How's that? To be.
Okay. Vice Chair Brittany Cummins.
And in reference to the accountability, this is under accountability, and some of the efforts in our accountability system that the legislature passed was to not just rely on, standardized testing only, but to also bring in other data points. And so it's kind of that same idea where accountability, not just at the state level, but accountability of the schools doesn't rely just on one data point, but that we encourage the practice of using multiple data points to inform instruction and to make decisions.
Okay, we want to come back to a follow-up, and then we'll go to Board Member Hanson. So, Vice Chair, Vice Chair Ellis, you had a...
I don't have anything pulled up in front of me because I wasn't necessarily prepared to talk to this point, but it's my memory, and it could be wrong, that in the statute that was passed, those data points were going to be able to be determined more at a local level. Does anyone remember that on the report card? And so I think that we just need to be very cautious creating data points, because I think it's valuable to have multiple data points, because I do agree with that we shouldn't be measuring based on one thing. However, I just want to make sure that we create an environment where we're not then reversing that local decision-making power.
Vice Chair Cummins.
Are you referencing the state statute? Okay, so yeah, that there were specific data points that were added to the accountability system based on some recommendations that we as a board gave them, but also there will be some reportable information that they will be able to choose and to draw from. And so the intent of this isn't for us to pick those data points or to pick specifically what each school will report, but to you talk about a strategy. We want to improve professional learning by encouraging the use of multiple data points. And so our reporting system will do just that, is encouraging them to seek out within a choice range, right? They can't just say, oh, we're going to use, the weather to do it. But there will be things that they will choose from in order to report, but that we are encouraging multiple data points, not just one single indicator.
Superintendent Dixon.
I'm reflecting back to the conversation about this overall strategy of accountability, and the key word that I recall being discussed and the reason for this strategy was about the transparency of the assessment system. So under accountability, where we're trying to increase proficiency, it was really about LEAs being transparent and our statewide being transparent. And so this is sort of a sub-strategy, I guess. And again, it can be determined and we can wordsmith it, but I think just that transparency was part of that overall strategy. So that probably needs to be fleshed out a little bit as well.
Board Member Reeby.
As we talk about accountability and data points, I'd like to point out that our data points are productivity tools. It's not just data points, they're productivity tools, because as a teacher, when I have 36 kids, I am so much more productive when I use data points that are in a framework that are easy for me to access. Our kids receive feedback at a faster rate, and our parents receive feedback at a faster rate. So these are also productivity tools.
Okay, and I might just add on this, and using multiple data points to inform instruction. My interpretation of that is whatever we can, whatever we have, whatever we legally have access, under all the other things that they're to protect data. This is the data that's unprotected that will move education forward, and this is open enough that we want to use it. And we're at a time, not only ourselves, but the legislature, all of our educators, there is there's a quest for data. And so I just see this as a very positive thing, not a threatening thing. The scary part of data is we're already handling another way. So I just to speak to that data thing, it's not an open checkbook to everything, in my opinion, as far as our strategic plan, the safe stuff. So other comments? We have a,
Mr. Nelson.
I don't know. Scott, did you have something?
Negative, sir.
Okay. I thought I saw hands. I'm not seeing any other lights. Okay, we have a motion and a second. We've had discussion. I'm not seeing any other lights. Let's vote on the motion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Voting is unanimous. Any other discussion on our strategic plan? Maybe while we're moving forward, I can just throw this out. I know we're trying to catch up on some time, and that board members, does anyone want to make any changes to our process that we're doing right now, where we're spending time on our work session to have more of an open debate and then formalize the work session into a motion the following day? Does anyone have any, is that working well? I'd say, is it not working well for you? That's an easier question. And Board Member Hanson. Or I mean, board Member, not Hanson, but Belknap.
It's okay. We're interchangeable. I actually really appreciate this, and I appreciate those new board members who are not new any longer, working with this and so that we all have buy-in and comfortability with this. Number two, with our change in order that we're looking at for our meetings, we won't be having study session before that, so it'll be a month out. That may cause some mental time constraints. Just throwing that out.
I hope not, because I believe board members, as they're coming out of it, they're taking really good notes of what they want to do, and hopefully they can retain those. Or, but I'm hoping that that's the way it goes. Board Member Lear.
I don't know if you were asking a question or if you were just in terms of the study session, the flipped situation this month, or if you were just stating that it is the case
No, I'm talking about the process of
setting that way.
our strategic plan, that
Oh.
we have discussion
Oh,
on it, and we look
Not
for ways to
generally.
complement it. And then in the following board meeting, after we have discussion, tweak our plan. It's a moving,
so
living document.
specific to the plan.
Specific to the plan.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm just,
Not just
speaking
generally, how do
specifically-
we feel about that? Okay.
no, that wasn't the question. It was about the strategic plan. Okay, I'm not seeing any further discussion.